It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464. You can hit me on Twitter also, KAB41. And hey, I'm live on Facebook. You go on ESPN Dayton 1410, and you can find me live right here on Facebook, and you can text or type your responses in to me, and where we can get into that. Guys, we're still in the midst of the pandemic. Coronavirus is out there. Please continue to wear your mask. Wear your mask, guys. Wear gloves. Keep your social distance. You see your friends in public. Just say hi. Talk a little louder. You don't got to shake their hands and hug all on them. You don't want to affect nobody accidentally or intentionally. Let's just take care of each other so we can get behind this and go on to better things and to a much better life, because we don't want to do this the rest of our lives, and the only way to get past it is we help one another, love one another. Guys, this time next week, we're going to know who the president-elect is, or who will continue to be president. So get out and vote. Early voting in Ohio, I believe it ends on Sunday or Monday. We know Election Day is Tuesday, so if you want to get out and early vote, I did 3 weeks ago today. I've got out and early voted. Glad I did it, exercised my constitutional right. Guys 18 and up and are registered. If you're not registered by now, I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to registered voters. Get out and vote, and that's why we live in the number one country in the world, because we're Americans. We get out and we do that, and we are the greatest democracy if we, are there to defend it and, be a part of it. So one part of being a part of it is get out and vote. Please do so. Black Lives Matter. The NBA season is over with, so you don't see it on the court, but you don't need to see it on a basketball court to know that Black Lives Matter. Guys, let's get out and take care of each other each and every day. Right now we have to target Black Lives Matter to make a difference. Otherwise, we're like, well, of course all lives matter. I'm not going to get into that. We know that, but if everybody's house was burned, 2 houses were burned on the street and everybody else was okay, we ain't gonna put water on everybody on the dry houses. We're gonna put water on the houses that are on fire. So let's take care of each other. It's not a slogan. It's a movement making a difference. And whether you live in a city, whether you live in the rural areas, or wherever, let's take care of one another here on planet Earth. Guys, one other point of notice before I get into a lot of the sports. This is a sports-related question. My condolences to the Matt Blair family here in Dayton, Ohio, and across parts of North America. Matt Blair, when I was, doing my summer over talking about different high schools in Dayton, one high school I mentioned was Colonel White, and I mentioned a great player from there by the name of Matt Blair. He died over the last weekend. He was 70 years old, and Matt Blair is one of the all-time great players that come out of Dayton, Ohio. Out of the state of Ohio even, but specifically Dayton. Matt Blair was awesome. He went to Iowa State University, 6-time Pro Bowler. Let me get that out. Pro Bowler for the Minnesota Vikings. He's on their top 50 Minnesota Vikings of all time. Certainly on the short list. You probably can't name 4 linebackers in Minnesota Vikings history without naming Matt Blair. Special teams stand out. I grew up, here in Dayton, knowing about Matt Blair, and that helps inspire me to someday that I know it can happen. Somebody from Dayton can go professional. And Matt Blair, when I used to watch him for the Minnesota Vikings when I was a little shorty, he from Dayton. Okay, that dream can happen. It can come true. And I was proud to know that. Never knew Matt Blair personally, but I knew he was from Dayton, and that was good enough for me. And so I followed him, throughout his career. And he died of dementia over the weekend. So keep his family, in prayer, and that would, really help make a difference in his life, of his family members who are here, surviving him. Well, finally, I didn't have a show Monday. We had to push it back to Wednesday. But y'all know what it is. I said college football season is back. We are so happy. Our Buckeyes are back. They're up 1-0. They beat the Nebraska Cornhuskers 52-17. Saw a whole lot of people play. Wasn't the cleanest game, but it's the first game of the season. You know, we can pick and choose and all that stuff, but hey, I saw a lot of good things out of Ohio State. You know, Justin Fields, he 20 of 21. Only missed one pass, 276 yards. You guys know the stats. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, I'm going to have to get used to Najigba. That's all right. I'm going to say that name enough over the next 3 years. I'm going to get it right. So Jackson Smith Najigba. Fleming, seems to be the makings of a really, really good freshman class. And I use the word good. I probably should use a better adjective. But it's only one game. I'm not going to call anybody great yet. It's only one game. But they got the makings of things that are going to be bright at that wide receiver position. The running back position, as bright as the wide receiver position was, the running back position was not as bright. I have to be honest. I got to give it to you straight with no chaser. Hey, when the running backs play good, I'm be the first to, praise them. When the running backs play bad, I'll be the first to criticize them. And that's that's how you get better. If all I'm going to do is talk about all the good things you do, I don't know how well-rounded you are. Not that I'm looking for anything bad, but that's how you grow. I mean, and the last 3 years, we were spoiled. We got to see J.K. Dobbins for the last 3 years. And if you were to, you sit back and think of, I know J.K. Dobbins' first game against Indiana when he was a freshman, he ran for over 100 yards, couple of touchdowns. Like, wow, Mike Weber, take your time getting healthy. But as his season wore on, his freshman year, sophomore year, and certainly by his junior year, Dobbins just kept getting better and better and better. And so the running backs that you saw, even though you knew who Master Teague was, but you never knew Master Teague as a starter. We knew who Trey Sermon was. We saw him play, at Oklahoma, but you never seen him play in a Buckeye uniform. So our running backs, they weren't shining as bright as the receivers were on Saturday. So I don't know who is going to be the feature back right now, and that's okay. But one thing I know for sure, the feature back in Ohio State's offense that's going to, carry the torch for the next Buckeye back. Everybody can't be a first-round pick or a second-round pick. But when you're just starting tailback at Ohio State, certainly it's part of, it's in the mix. You got to be one of the best running backs in the Big Ten. And when I say one of the best, you got to be the top 2 or 3. You ain't always got to be number 1, but you got to be 2 or 3. It can't take that long to call your name. And that's nothing, no disrespect to any other running backs in the Big Ten, but Ohio State, we have a standard. If you started that job, you got to be 1, 2, or 3. If you can't go beyond 3, it's time to bring in another running back. I mean, you look at the history of Ohio State, how often do they not have one of the top 2 or 3 running backs? Yeah, I know. Just sitting there thinking about it. Yeah, he was pretty good. So you never hardly ever say that. And after one game, we don't say that after 1 week, but after, we'll see. And I was spoke with the running back coach over the weekend, and I told him I have the utmost confidence that you're going to find the right guy. And he assured me that. So I don't mind, sharing that much with you. When I do talk to coaches, I can not giving any trade secrets away. But like I said, the best running back that we're used to seeing at Ohio State football is already in the locker room. He's in the meeting room, and hopefully you get a chance to see him, emerge over the next week or two. We knew about Mike Weber, but we didn't know how good Mike Weber was. And we saw J.K. Dobbins. We heard J.K. Dobbins comes in with a lot of fanfare, but we didn't know how good he was until he starts to play. And you don't pass judgment after one game. And I'm sure our running backs will step up. So I have most confidence in them, because you don't come to Ohio State without having the ability to be the guy. So the guy is in the locker room. He's in the meeting room. So hopefully you'll see him on Saturday night. Haskell Garrett, what a great story. defensive tackle getting his first start, and you probably know the name more so about Haskell Garrett, about what happened during the offseason than what happened in previous seasons. He's finally getting his shot to be one of the rushmen to play for Coach Johnson. He got shot in the face during the offseason. Shot in the face. Breaking up a domestic violence dispute. He wasn't involved, but he got involved by trying to break it up. And it's just a miracle that he's walking and living and still here. And to see him go out and have the game that he had on Saturday, it just, brought, a warm and fuzzy feeling over me. He had the first sack of the season for the Buckeyes. To see him, being disruptive in the run game, making the offensive linemen get holding penalties on him, just being disruptive as a defensive tackle. So the journey that he come from. You can't help but to cheer for individuals like that. And that's part of a really good, feel-good story. But the most important thing was the Buckeyes won. They won. They got a bigger game this week against Penn State. So everybody's like, oh man, Penn State, was they looking at, they lost to Indiana. Now they got Ohio State. Could they really start 0-2 in this season? So they're going to get a Buckeyes their best shot. And we expect that out of Penn State. The Penn State team that you seen play against Indiana, will be much improved, better prepared, and they have been looking forward to this Buckeye game since last year when the Buckeyes spanked them in Columbus. So the only thing's not going to be there is a whiteout. It won't have 100,000 fans all dressed in white, to try to intimidate the Buckeyes. That won't happen. But the Penn State heart, grit, and they're going to play you to every 60 minutes. They're going to be ready for the Buckeyes. That being said, guess what? The Buckeyes are going to be ready for them too. Somebody, said to me the other day, man, I sure wish Penn State would have won, man, because now, they're going to be really fired up for the Buckeyes to come to town. Man, who thinks I don't care if they're going to be fired up? Guess what? I'm going to be fired up. I can't wait to play them. So what? We got to go to Penn State. So what? I want to go up here. Let's go make this. I always call it Unhappy Valley for them. They call it Happy Valley. Well, it's only happy for the winners. And we plan on being winners. And so it's going to be Unhappy Valley for the losers. And so I'm expecting a hard-fought game, and I've always believed, and I've seen it happen in reality. You want to improve as a football team each and every week. You hate to have regressions, especially, in college football. You want to be better in week 2 than you were in week 1. You want to be better in week 4 than you were in week 2. You want to be better in week 8 than you were in week 4. So you look back over the season, and at the end of the season, you want to be playing your best football. Teams that are playing their worst football at the end of the season, they peak too soon. They weren't that good anyway. They weren't that good anyway. You want to always be playing your best football, and you make improvements along this way. Now, between games 1 and 2 is when you make your greatest improvement. When I say greatest improvement, can you break that down for me, Keith Byars? Of course. Say if this week I'm playing at my standard, and then in the following week, as a team, we play 50% better, which is a huge jump. And then in week 3, you play 15% better. And then the following week, you play, 4% better. Yeah, those numbers are going down, but your team is still improving. But you make your biggest improvement between week 1 and week 2. Because week 1, you're so excited about the season started. You're tired of practicing against each other. You want some live dummies on the other side, somebody you don't like. And it means more. And so you have your highs and your lows of the game, and you see missed tackles, missed opportunities. And, when you're in practice, you can game plan for that scheme. Hey, show me cover 3. Okay, give me an all-out blitz. So you get to prepare your team that way. Once you get into a game, you don't have control of what the other team's going to do to you. And you have to react. You can study, but you still don't know how they're going to play you. And so now you have game film of what's going to happen. So now week 2, you're going to go. Ohio State is going to watch the Penn State Indiana game. Penn State is going to watch the Nebraska game, and everybody have your tendencies. So you're going to be better prepared, and let's see how much more you improve. That's what it's going to come down to. Little things like that. And the Buckeyes also Saturday, they won the turnover battle, +1. You know, we fumbled that, and just a hard hit on Chris Olave, didn't hang on to it, so we only gave up 1 fumble. Did no interceptions, and and our defense took the ball away from them twice. One of those was a scoop and score. When you score in defense, that gets to be contagious. So, I mean, there's been some seasons we went 5 and 6, 8 games, and hey, man, we don't have no defensive turnovers. I mean, no defensive scores. We don't turn the ball over enough. Those things that I'm looking for. I look for it in all games, because when we don't turn the ball over, you got a chance to win. When you take the ball away from another team more, you got a greater chance to win. So all those things are coaching points that the coaches were impressed upon the players to go get. You see, like a lot of the southern schools, like Miami, they get an interception. Here, we're the turnover chain. It's because they got different things that they do to encourage that on defense. Ohio State hasn't gotten into that, but the encouragement is still just the same. Just the same. Also around the Big Ten, I mentioned earlier, Indiana upset, and that would be an upset over Penn State. Gutsy call by Coach Allen. Just wow. Wisconsin over Illinois. You already know that now. Already, Wisconsin is supposed to play Nebraska. Game is already postponed because of COVID concern and health concern. Well, it's not postponed; it's canceled. So they're not even going to make that up. We'll see how that shakes out in the Big Ten standings, especially in the West side. If it comes down to what would be the tiebreaker. If you have a loss because you played more games and they were undefeated because they didn't play any games, how does that work? So that's for the Big Ten answer. I had to look it up on the website, see how they would handle that. If I played more games and got 1 loss, and you've lost no games, but you played 1 less game, does that balance out? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Rutgers got their first Big Ten win in over 2 years over Michigan State. Mel Tucker's his first game as a Michigan State coach didn't go over so well for him, but I love Mel. I know he's going to do a good job there. And that's a program that doesn't need to be turned around because they always play the Buckeyes tough more often than not. And Michigan State, we'll see. We'll see hey, kudos to Rutgers for getting their game. Michigan, big win on the road versus Minnesota last week. And that's basically the Big Ten. Northwestern had a good win also. But that's kind of the Big Ten. But let's look forward to what's coming up this week. And the biggest game on the Big Ten calendar, and one of the biggest games probably in the country this week, is the Buckeyes at Penn State. I'm expecting Sean Clifford play like a bum the first half. Second half, totally different guy. And these guys, they hate Ohio State. I have relatives that went to Penn State, living in all over Pennsylvania. They hate Ohio State, but that's okay. We love it. It's always us against the world. So I'm sure the Buckeyes are going to be prepared, and they can't wait to get after it. And it's going to be a big game, and looking forward to seeing it. And we're going to take a break, and we are going to talk more about Ohio football. The Bengals and the Browns. Part 2 was this past Sunday, and I have to do a dive into that. So Bengals fans, Browns fans, get ready. We'll talk more about that after the break. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
More clouds than sun today as the temp tops out at 59. Cloudy tonight, low 45. A rainy day tomorrow with a high of 51. Partly sunny Friday with a high temp in the upper 40s. I'm John Bailey for 1410 ESPN Radio.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's amazing. Palmer's works, and I'm the proof. That's Dawn Elaine talking about Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Oil.
I have stretch marks on my stomach and thighs. They used to make me very self-conscious until I discovered Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil.
Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil is an advanced formula that improves the appearance of stretch marks, scars, dry, uneven skin tone, and aging skin.
I love it. I was so thrilled with the improvement. Now I use it from head to toe.
Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Oil. Palmer's. Choose what's real.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology identifies the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Monica did, and that's how she found Lamont, her new project superintendent.
The job is so perfect for me. I had a career breakthrough. I would have never found this job if it wasn't for ZipRecruiter.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists. With ZipRecruiter, we get hiring results.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Update your bathroom or kitchen with IBC sheet vinyl flooring. It's waterproof, easy to install, and comes in a variety of designs to fit your style. Get 11% off all IBC sheet vinyl flooring right now at Menards. Good through Saturday, October 31st. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Care. Whether it's your business or your family's health, the more care you put in, the better it will be. United Healthcare knows the difference care can make. It's why we offer plans that support your physical and mental health. And it's why we connect you to care whenever you need it with 24/7 virtual care. Because like you, United Healthcare knows what care can do. United Healthcare. Plan benefits may vary.
As a professional painter, you know your customers want a flat finish, but don't want to pay the price of fighting dirt, grime, and scuffs. Use new Behr Ultra Scuff Defense from the Home Depot for a beautiful flat finish, plus stain and scuff defense. And that price starts at just $29.60 a gallon. And that's before the Pro Extra discount. A flat paint that's too tough to scuff. Behr Ultra Scuff Defense. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available online and in select stores.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun. Looking for some spooky entertainment? Join us at Polking Bowling Centers for a great night out with your friends. And check out Spooktacular Laser Tag, now open at Polking Woodman Lanes. It's Halloween fun for all. Visit polkingbowling.com or Facebook for all the details to schedule your next Halloween bowling party. Safe, sanitized, and socially distanced. Let the good times roll at Polking Lanes in Dayton on Willington Avenue, Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kings Ridge Drive.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your car insurance with Right Track, which rewards you for safe driving.
As the world's most careful driver, that's perfect. Now applying 2 pounds of force for acceleration.
You really
turning in 0.3 miles and begin a deceleration.
With Liberty Mutual's Right Track, you could earn up to 30% savings based on how you drive. Sign up at libertymutual.com/righttrack.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Discount on participating vehicles, base coverages only. Availability varies.
Before your next flooring job, make Lowe's your first stop. See the latest styles in our new flooring showroom. We carry more tile, more vinyl, more laminate and hardwood than ever before. Whatever you need, we have the job lot quantities you expect at bulk pricing to save you money. Shop in store or online at lowesforpros.com. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Our pro team can help you get the job done right and on time. It's just one more reason why Lowe's is the new home for pros. U.S. only.
The all-new Audible now gives you thousands of select audiobooks, podcasts, originals, and more, all included with membership. Try it for free for 30 days. Visit audible.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring for brand new home daily dedicated lanes. Earn up to $1,620 per week. A $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, company paid life insurance. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5560 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5560. Enjoy.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're back in Miamisburg, Ohio at Pipestone Golf Club. It's a beautiful day, and we're playing an incredibly well-maintained and beautiful golf course. You should be out here with us, I'm telling you. We're finishing up our round today on hole number 18. It's a long par 5 that requires a right-to-left tee shot. Well, I have that shot, but I usually call it a hook. I'm off the tee, and sure enough, the ball starts to hook. It stops just short of the creek that runs the entire left side of the hole. 2 shots later, I'm in front of the green. It slopes hard to the left, and your ball will run into the creek if you're not careful. My half wedge ends up more like a full wedge, and I'm 20 feet from the hole. Then it happens. I sink my 20-foot putt for a par. What a way to finish a great round of golf at a great golf course. You should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. The phone number to call is 937-457-9464. If you're in line over there at Lee's or you're riding down the street, you see there's always a Lee's somewhere near you. Pull over. On the break, I had me a couple pieces of chicken, so I feel good. So I had me some Lee's for lunch. Let's have lunch together. So, hey, pull over, grab something. It's good. You hit me on Twitter, KAB41, and I'm live. You know, see me on 1410 ESPN on Facebook. I'm out here. But, guys, let's talk about the Bengals and the Browns. It's going to be easy to talk about them because they played each other. So we don't even talk about their opponents. They played each other. And we already know how that worked out. Looked like the Bengals had won, and then the Bengals snatched victory out of the jaws of defeat. Snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory, I should say. But you got to give Cleveland credit. Cleveland ran back down the field and took the win. It was 33-25. And that was certainly a game of two halves. You guys seen it. I know you Browns fans are relishing in it all week long, you know. And just you're a Cleveland Browns fan. What did you feel? How did you feel this time last week? You see, you have to have control of your emotions. I mean, Baker said, man, I feel like we done lost 5 in a row. You know, we're 4-2 football team. You know, it's not the season isn't over. And, you know, no. And then they come out and get a big win against Cincinnati. Now you're 5-2 instead of 4-3. Go back to my formula. I always talk. I'm going to walk you through it all season long. You play the NFL game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You only sprint the last month of the season, you know, because that's when you're setting yourself up for the playoff and trying to get a better seed or trying to get a seed into the playoffs. Or you're on the other end of that spectrum, you're trying to see which draft order you're in. It's already 7 games into the season and people are already on the draft clock. You hear me, New York Jets? Last year was tank for Tua. This year is Joey Lawrence or Trevor Lawrence. I'm thinking of the actor Joey Lawrence. Or what about Justin Field? But here in Ohio, we don't have to talk about that right now. Well, maybe. But you play your first 4 games of the season. How did you do after 4 games? Were you 4-0, 3-1, 0-4, 1-3, or 2-2? Okay, no matter now, we're at the second phase. Because after this week, guess what? The NFL season will be half over. They will have played 8 games. And we're like, where did the season go? We couldn't wait for the season to start. We're in the midst of a pandemic. Are we going to have an NFL season? And here we are. This Sunday is half over. So if you are a Cleveland Brown fan and you got the Raiders this week, nothing more that you want than to have that W. You get that W, guess what, Browns fans? You are 3-1 in the first 4 games of each mini season. That would give the Browns a 6-2. I know 6-2 with 8 to play. That's the mindset you have to get this win to go into the next quarter of the season, because we're at halftime after this week. So the Cincinnati Bengals. I think you started off 1-4, no 1-3, and 1-2-1, and then the next 2 weeks you can't seem to get it home. You're 1-5-1 after 7 games. The season's not over. It's getting faint. I've been saying it for about 3 weeks now. I have the Bengals winning between 6 and 9 games. Mathematically, it could still happen. But y'all got to help me help you. There's 9 games left. You got to get hot at some point. You got to win a game, which you've done, but now you need to win another game and then another game. That's called a streak. You want to be, right now you are on a losing streak. You got to get a W by any means necessary. You got to get one. So Cincinnati, your season is not over. It's far from over. It's 9 games to go. Last 9 games of the season, who says you can't go 6-3? Or 9-0. If you're really optimistic, 8-1, 7-2. That will turn your season around. But that's the big picture. The small picture is what you need to stay focused on is this Sunday. This Sunday. You have, no matter what happens, you have to find a way to win the ball game. You got the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they're going to be upset. They lost a tough one to the Steelers at home. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to come in Cincinnati trying to eat this thing. Hey, so you must be a little hot up under the collar too, Cincinnati. You only got 1 win. You traded away Carlos Dunlap today to the Seattle Seahawks. I thought Carlos Dunlap, I have nothing bad to say about him. He's a great guy in the community. He's the leader of the Bengals for a lot of years. But everything has to change sometime. I don't think he left the town the right way, and I don't like the way they've been castigized, criticized, and extra, he's got him out there. But nevertheless, I wish Carlos Dunlap well. You shouldn't be putting your house up for sale and getting into disputes on the sideline with your coach. But you know what? I'm not even mad about that, because I think that can be blown out of proportion. It's okay to have a disagreement with a coach. You see it all the time in professional sports. I mean, you see pitchers come out and they get in the dugout. They're not the happiest with the coach sometimes, or even position players in baseball. You see it in basketball. The guy, the head coach takes a player out. He goes straight to the end of the bench, and don't he? Sometimes, hey, come talk. I want to talk to you. What happened? I want to talk to you. So you see it happen in basketball. It happens in football too. It's just a lot of times in football, it happens behind closed doors, but it happens. When I was with the Philadelphia Eagles, Buddy Ryan was the head coach, and Buddy kind of let it leak out in an indirect way, especially if you was a veteran and you have made plays. You got a little more status around here. It's okay to have a dispute with your position coach, or even sometimes even with the head coach, but you can be respectfully disagreeable. And you can, and you're a grown man. And me personally, I never like anybody to yell at me. I don't like my wife yells at me. I just don't like yelling at each other. I think we can express ourselves much better than that. But when a coach, it's a heated moment and you get into some things, you're going to say some things that you may not necessarily like, may not necessarily mean them. So with Buddy Ryan, we had a unwritten rule. Buddy was saying, The things that I say to you Monday through Saturday hold way more weight than what I say to you on Sunday, because Monday through Saturday, I'm preparing you for Sunday. Sunday, we're at war, and we're going to say a lot of things to each other that we don't necessarily mean. I've never been in war. I've talked to people who've been in war, but I understand where he was coming from. And basically, get out of your feelings. So wait a minute, I'm going to say some things to you. So I don't know what went on between Carlos Dunlap and the defensive coach, but I don't really care. I don't really care because I don't think it's that big a deal. As long as it wasn't disrespect from either way. But if you're yelling at me, I have the right to yell back. I'm a grown man. And I've had some skirmishes with some coaches that I try to, pre that. It's okay to get on me for a mistake I made. I have no problem with that. But don't go yelling at me and jumping in my face, because that's a two-way street. I'm not no child. But some players respond better from that way. And you have to know the player and the personality to be able to go after that. So what we used to do sometime in Philadelphia, if Buddy done made us mad about something, because he said Monday through Saturday, hold more weight to what I got to say, we would wait till Sunday, and then that'd be our time to get him back. Hey, coach, you growl back at him about something that's really not that big a deal, but you want to make it a big deal because you've been holding this in your chest all week long. So now it's okay to get it off without no repercussions, coming back. But that's a little bit of old school football. These coaches today and players today are too sensitive. You can't, you're just too sensitive, but sometimes, you need that to help take your game to the next level. So I want to tell the Bengal fans, season's not over. It's not over. You have to stay together. The answer is in the locker room, or it's not. And if it's not in the locker room, then I got to go above the locker room and make some decisions. And I say that to say, Zach Taylor, your seat is fire hot. It is red hot. And this is it's a ugly business that we chose to be in, and I always tell people, sports, football specifically, can bring you together, but it should never tear you apart. Some of my best friends in life I met through sports, through football and things of that nature. So Cincinnati Bengals, you may like Zach Taylor an awful lot, but he's brought in here. His number one job is to win football games. Cincinnati Bengals, his first year head coach last year, went 2-14. Okay, we're more than over patient, because the guy got fired in 2018 for going 3-13. So the Bengals holds on to a coach that goes 2-14. Okay, that was last year. This is this year. Zach, you have one win and a tie this year. The rest losses. And only one blowout. You had blowout against the Baltimore Ravens. And you probably heard me say on this show, it bears repeating, 75% of NFL games every week are decided by 7 points or less. 75% of NFL games are won by 7 points or less. So they're fourth quarter games, and it comes down to, do you make the play or do you not make the play? On both sides of the ball. Did your offense step up to make the play? Did your defense step up to make the play? And you watch football every weekend, and you see that countlessly. I mean, you look at the Sunday night game, the Arizona Cardinals against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle played their behinds off for the majority of the game in the first four quarters. And then they get to the fourth quarter, they're up by 10. In the last three possessions, 2 in regulation and 1 in over. No, 3 of the last 4 possessions, two in regulation and 2 in overtime. And 3 of those 4, Arizona scored. So they were down by 10 in the fourth quarter. All you got to do, defense, is stop them one time. Well, they kick a field goal. Now they got it down to 7. Offense in the game now. Don't let Arizona back on the field. They got a first down. Then they had to punt. Down defense. Offense didn't win the game. Defense go win the game. Kyler Murray marched Arizona right back down the field, scored a touchdown, and kicked the extra point. Overtime. Wow. You like, all we had to do is stop. And then you got to overtime. Anything could happen. Both teams punted. Seattle gets the ball back. Russell Wilson throws an unfortunate interception. Defense, all you need to do is stop them and, get the ball back to the offense. Can't do it. A couple first downs later, they're in field goal range. Game over. Game, set, match. So 3 of the last 4 times Arizona got the ball, they scored. They didn't step up and make a play. And you look over the course of the Cincinnati Bengals season, they've only got blown out 1 time in 7 games. So that means 6 games could have went either way. They tied my Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm a diehard Eagle fan. They should have beat the Eagles. Plain and simple, but they didn't. Carson Wentz made that last drive down in the 4th quarter to give them the chance to put the game in overtime. Jeez, Bengals had a chance to win it in regulation and overtime. Didn't do it. First game of the season against Chargers. They called, push off offensive pass interference against A.J. Green. He did it. And you missed the field goal. You still got a chance. Oh, that's 1 game. Then it's Thursday night against the Browns. You get my point. You get the pattern. So you Bingo fans, don't go to all this finger pointing. Point the finger at yourself. You're 1-5-1. You have to learn how to win. And I've been there before. My rookie year, I was 5-10-1. We lost 7 games that year by 7 points or less. And Buddy Ryan used to come in the locker room and yelling at us, cursing at us. You guys don't know how to win. You don't know how to win. And we get them, man, why don't you teach us how to win? What are we doing wrong? But when you're going through the process, you don't always see it. And then once we started winning those tight games, I got it. I know how to win now. We know how to win now. Those stupid things we would do in the 4th quarter, we're no longer doing. Now you're winning. And then how we turned that around from 5-10-1 my rookie year. The second year we were 7-5. The official records have us 8-7 or 7-8 because they counted the scab games that we didn't play. And then the third year we win a division. Because we learn to win. You're maturing. We're getting better each and every season, each and every game. I'm not seeing that out of the head coach. After seeing 16 games last year, and we only win 2, and the general manager and the owner, they got some tough jobs too. They got to make the decision. But that's why you get paid the big bucks. Zach Taylor, you played 7 games. You've been here, 23 games if my math is right? 16 and 7 is 23. And you've only brought 3 victories home in 23 games, 1 tie. Zach, your time is hey, I'm not a general manager, so it's not for me to say your time is up. And if I was you, I would thank God I'm not the general manager because your time would be up. I can't go that long. 2-14 was way stretched beyond. You got the first 6 games to show me something. You at least need some 3-3s, some 4-2s, maybe a 2-4. But I need to have a competitive team. I need to see improvement. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing, because improvement it's a results business, not about friendship. It's a results business. Cincinnati's game on Sunday against the Browns. Browns played a good game. Both of them played a good second half. But Joe Burrow's lead marches the team down. Scores. Everybody relaxing and celebrating. Yeah. And then what kind of kick was that? The Browns are like, oh, thank you. We'll take that little short kick. But then your defense, you got to step up and stop them. Just get off the field. And that way the Bengals get in their favorite formation, the victory formation. Did not happen. And you got to give the Cleveland Browns credit for it. Last week, Baker Mayfield, caught a lot of flack, not just locally, but nationally as well. Baker played his butt off last week. 22 or 28, didn't start that way, but we always say a 60-minute game. 60-minute game. Come on now. 22 of 28 for 297 yards, 1 interception. But guess what? He had 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. And what was really impressive about his 5 touchdowns, they were the 5 different players. He spreaded the ball around. Harrison Bryant caught 2. Harrison Bryant caught 4 passes for 2 touchdowns for 56 yards. Man, Rashard Higgins, 6 for 110 yards. Donovan Peoples-Jones, at the end of the game, you throw him the ball? Yes. And a touchdown. Baker, that's what we want to see out of you. Spread the love around. Sorry about Odell Beckham Jr. I know that injury. I blew my knee. I tore mine up at the end of my season. ACL surgery. I had ACL, MCL, meniscus. Never fun. I hate to see Odell Beckham, season end, so abruptly. Some I've even heard rumbles that was his last game as a Cleveland Brown. I don't know about all that, but that's not the time right now. It's about Odell and his health. Get healthy soon and hope to see you back next year. But Baker Mayfield, you spreaded the ball around to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different receivers. That's winning football, Baker. And you still gonna get the love. I don't care about you throwing for 300 or 400 yards or 500 yards. I care about winning the game. Because one thing for sure, Joe Burrows would gladly switch stats. Joe Burrows had a hell of a game. 35 of 47 for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But guess what? You don't want Joe Burrow throwing the ball 47 times. You don't want him to sling it around that many times. You want him to sling it around like 28 times. And that's efficiency, Baker, 22 of 28. I love this matchup. We're going to see that hopefully for years to come. And, Joe Burrows, he gets it. He's somebody I could build around. Tyler Boyd, he seems to be coming to his own. 11 catches on 13 targets. I love that. T. Higgins, rookie, I was glad when they drafted him. I said, yeah, him and Joe Burrows can grow together. T. Higgins, 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown, and 5 targets. Every time they threw the ball to him, he was bringing it back. Perfect. Now, A.J. Green, 7 catches for 82 yards. But guess what, AJ? 13 targets, not good enough. They threw the ball to you 13 times. You only brought it back 7. Threw the ball to Tyler Boyd, not trying to cause division on the team by no means. But Tyler Boyd had the ball thrown to him 13 times too, and he caught 11 and a touchdown. AJ, if you want to continue to wear bingo stripes, it's time. Otherwise, when's the trading deadline? Next Tuesday? They still got time to move you. If you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. And if you do want to be here, show me. Show me. I'm not saying you can't play in this league, but you can't play for me. But I'm not the general manager. That's your saving grace. If I was a general manager, I know how to make the difficult decisions and still like you as a person. You cannot let your emotion and your feelings, how you feel about somebody, cloud your judgments for what's best for the organization. So you look at the Cleveland Browns, you listen to the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not much difference, guys. It's not much different. Don't tell me about talent. It's about who makes the plays, who doesn't make the plays. You're Cincinnati Bengals. You played the Browns twice. In the fourth quarter, both games could have went either way. But they go to the better team. So Cleveland is a better team. They won it. They figured out ways to win. Cincinnati, you need to figure out ways to win. You almost are hearing that same message that I got when I was a rookie. You guys don't know how to win. Well, teach me. Show me how to win. And it all comes down to the little small things. I said earlier, it's a 60-minute game. No question about it. I don't care if the media only fixates on the last 15 minutes. It's a 60-minute game. The same play that you make in the first quarter or you didn't make in the fourth quarter, it comes back to haunt you. Yeah, how often do you watch games and a kicker makes an extra point in the first quarter? You're like, oh, shucks. We may need that later on. Yeah, because every point matters. I used to score a touchdown. We were on their sideline celebrating. I couldn't sit down. I got to watch the extra point. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Yes. Now I can enjoy this touchdown even more now. That's one of the things. It's attention to detail. That's the difference between more teams that make the playoffs and teams that do not make the playoffs, and teams who excel in the playoffs. And if the Browns want to be a playoff team, they're certainly more than capable of being that. But, guys, there's one thing and the Browns haven't been in the playoffs since when? When's the last time the Browns were in the playoffs?
2002.
2002.
Just a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
decades. A few decades.
And people who had a graduating class in that meantime. Some kids went through kindergarten and graduated.
I was in 6th grade.
He was in 6th grade.
Just a little baby.
You got a couple graduations under your belt.
I'm a seasoned vet at this point.
Yes.
Hey, real quick on Facebook, Daryl McKinney, the commissioner, he says, "What's up, Boomer? Commissioner here."
Hey, Commissioner.
He says, "Is
Who's the commissioner of
the SEC?"
SEC.
Oh yeah, but he says, "Is Cleveland better without OBJ?"
I hate questions like that. No, they're not better without OBJ. He's a heck of a player. But you need to be a part of it and buy totally in to help make us better. But hopefully that will ease some pressure off Baker and let him play more around to spread the ball around to the open guy. You've watched Tom Brady for 30 years now, and Tom Brady, his favorite receiver who's over open first. Yes, he has somebody I want to get the ball to you. I may give you Gronk, I may give you the first look, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, the Wes Welkers over the years. Give them the Randy Moss, give them the first look. But the favorite target is who's open first. You wanted to, and so Baker kind of frustrates you because the potential and the ability is there. That's why you're for overall pick, number one overall pick in the draft, because we know it's something there. But when you don't play that way and you get into your feelings, you're going to catch some heat. So if we see more games like this out of Baker, because now we've seen it, we know it's possible. Yes, it should be there. So I hope I answered this question in both ways. So individuals don't win championships. Teams win championships. Teams win championships. And the Patriots have done that, last year. Who was Super Bowl champ last year? How quickly I forget.
The Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. The team won that. Yes, Pat Mahomes got a lot of love, and deservedly so. But he doesn't catch it. He just throws it. He doesn't catch it. He hands it off and somebody else runs it. Teams win championships. And that's who's going to win the championship this year in the Super Bowl, the best team. So I'm looking forward to that. And now we'll see which level that the Browns go to. Is one thing that with Baker OJB being out, you don't have to worry about if he's coming back this week or next week. It's over for this season. So now we can only play with what we have here in the locker room. But some guys' roles are going to change. And are you able to fill those shoes and to step up? Jarvis Landry, right now, you are a name. Your production is not matching who you are. You need more. I need more out of a Jarvis Landry. Yes, I need leadership, but we also need plays on the field. They need another player on defense. And we talk about the Browns. We talk about defense, offense. We forget about the defense. The defense is just as important. We need somebody to match Myles Garrett intensity that he brings every week. And I see it out of Denzel Ward. He made a heck of a play on a bubble screen at cornerback. Yes, so you need more of those guys stepping up so that as well as because at the end of the day, Cleveland Browns won the football game. That's what we will remember. But you still can't give it that many explosive plays and big plays, and you need to get off the field when you have to. If Baker doesn't lead the Browns down the field to get the game-winning drive, this is a different conversation today. We're going to talk more about how the defense, didn't do this, that, and the other. But when you win, I always said winning covers a multitude of faults. Look, the Browns gave up 34 points. Winning covers a multitude of faults, and losing exposes a multitude of faults. So the Cleveland Browns won. We overlooking that they gave up 34 points. The Bengals lost. we're pointing the fingers at everybody. 37 points on defense. The offensive line is not doing this. And hey, that's just how it is. But the teams that truly get better don't listen to the outside noise. And you can't look at, they looking like, man, they know 34 points is not good enough. 37 points is not good enough. Rookie quarterback throw 400 yards on you. Any quarterback throw 400 yards on you. That's not good enough. So there's always, lessons to be learned. I think I learned lessons better out of victories than losses because I hate to lose, but you have to learn to and learn from it. And that's how you get better. And if the Browns want to be in the playoffs, and be successful, they need to be honest with themselves and go to the next level. But you've been listening to the Keith Byars radio show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Can't wait till next week. I'll be back this coming Monday. I'll be back Monday to talk to you about the Buckeyes in Penn State, at Penn State. That's going to be a big game. We're going to talk more about the Browns, and the Raiders and the Bengals and the Titans and all of NFL. And also, before I forget, congratulations, Los Angeles Dodgers. Your wait is over. 32 years. It's over. World Series champs. Random acts of kindness. Take care of your fellow man and get out and vote, vote, vote.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology identifies the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply, which is why you